Hello, welcome back again. I really missed making videos. I have been absent for a while. I didn't make any videos because there's something happening, and I really missed making this video because I have a lot of books I need to review. I want to review. Actually, there are many technical problems happening that prevent me to make video, but then I want to make with what I have right now. So my laptop is broken. I don't have any compatible device to edit my video, and this video actually I want to know if I can make it without my laptop. So if you watch this video, that means I am successful making this without my laptop. And also I forgot how my last video was. I feel like the settings behind me are a bit cluttered than previously. I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe it's the same. I haven't opened my YouTube account for a while too. Actually, during that time, I make other video on my other YouTube account. So I have two YouTube accounts. If you want to check it, by all means. I make vlog videos. They're like outfit check, nothing serious. It's very different from here. Also, today I have a very interesting book to review. This is the first time I'm not reviewing fiction book. This is a non-fiction, and I'm very scared that I mess this up because this is a science book and very popular science book. By the way, I apologize if the lightnings look weird because I have new lighting setup and having trouble to adjust it. Like which way is look better? Like you see there's shadow there, but don't mind that because we are not talking about the setting today. And today we are going to talk about Cosmos by Carl Sagan. This book will be the first non-fiction book that I review here. I hope I could review it well because I'm scared. So I have the translated version. Guys, I'm really afraid that I'm mistaken or I didn't catch the essence of each book because I will review it per chapter. There are 13 or 15 chapters. I forgot. I read this long time ago and I haven't finished it. Don't judge me, please. Okay, there are 13 chapters and I will explain briefly one by one. I have read until 11 chapter, meaning only 2 chapters left that I have not read. But I already make a summary and research what the 2 other left chapter I haven't read about. So let me start it with the general description about this book. Cosmos is a popular science book written by Carl Sagan and his wife, Andrian. No, actually, the opening from Andrian with opening essay by Neil deGrasse Tyson. This book first published in 1980 and soon after became very popular science book. Actually, they have synopsis on the back of the book. I'm going to read it. Cosmos is one of the best-selling science books of all times. With stunning clarity, astronomer Carl Sagan reveals universe inhabited by a life form just beginning its journey through the vastness of space. Cosmos traces 14 billion years of cosmic evolution that transformed matter into consciousness, the origins of life, the missions of space probes, the appearance of various planets and stars, and life cycle of solar system and galaxies, and the beginning and the end of the universe itself. Since its first publication, this book has helped millions of people understand the vastness of the universe that science has uncovered, showing how far humanity can now see and how much remains to be discovered in our universe. So yeah, that's basically it. This book is not talking outside the topic. The title is Cosmos, and it's talking about cosmos. After I read this, my first impression about this book is the universe encyclopedia. Carl Sagan really talking about the evolution of the universe from Big Bang until now, and the possibility of the universe future and the end. Okay, we will go with the first chapter. The title is The Shores of the Cosmic Ocean. Tepi Lautan Kosmik. It's so poetic. So in the first chapter, started with the introduction of the vastness scale of the universe. Basically, this chapter 1 is introduction. It started with how vast the universe is, and the humans are very tiny creature, but capable of understanding the universe. We are not the center of the universe, but we are capable of understanding it. Okay, so the essence of this chapter is the idea that the universe is like the ocean, and we are only dipping our toes on it. So far, we haven't even put ourselves completely into the ocean yet. And human is a very small, trivial creature of the universe, but we are playing a very important role because we are capable of understanding the universe, how it works, even in the age of space exploration itself. With science became the tool of human understanding the universe. So this era up until now is still our beginning of humanity to explore the universe farther. We are only on the shore, only at the beach. Like when the astronaut go to the Earth's orbit, it's like when we are going to the shore, going to the beach, we are only dipping our toes, but we are not ready to explore deeper into the ocean. And the second chapter, I think this is interesting because each chapter seems to interconnected. After we are talking about how vast the universe itself, how small human scale compared to the universe, and how important we are, and we are at the brink of space exploration. In the chapter 2, it is the voice in the cosmic view. It was talking about life evolves through natural selection, DNA connects all living beings, humans are part of a long biological chains. This chapter is talking specifically about human evolution from the single cell to we are now, and how we share the same DNA with animals, with the trees, with everything in this earth, because at the first time our origins is the same with every creature in the world right now, even though we look different. And Sagan also reflected that human is not special. We are just another byproduct of this planet's evolution. Some are become animals, some are become bacteria, and human is just one of them. I will talk no more about chapter 2 because that's the whole idea about it, and how Sagan reflected that we should treat other with discernment and respect. I mean, not other people, but other creature like the mountains, the nature, the animal, the trees, because we are sharing the same base DNA. and we are a very distant relatives of them. And the chapter 3 is the harmony of the world. Going ahead from the human evolution, this chapter is talking about the early human when they discovered and used science. This is talking about the first astronomy as a science discipline, about the first scientists like Johannes Kepler, Galileo Galilei, and how planets move in predictable and mathematical patterns. One that I remember mostly about this chapter is where Sagan retelling the story about Johannes Kepler. Despite him being brilliant and found the Kepler theory, Kepler's law, his life was not easy at all. During that time, I forgot what time of Kepler's age. I mean, like, what year did he live and what happened with the intellectual people at that time. But at that time, the church told that Kepler is a disbeliever. Just like Galileo, he presented his work and his theory to the church because that is the most powerful institution that time. But the church is refusing that. And then they are also told that Kepler's mother is the witch and then executed her. That is so devastating because we only know the good part, how Kepler invention could help us today, but we do not know how that affected his life. It's the same like Galileo and Galilei. And this is also talking about, like I said before, this is talking about the first time when human trying to understand the outer space with science. There are a lot of misunderstanding. Intellectual people considered blasphemous to the church and religion. And then also this chapter explaining about how people used to believe that the earth is the center of the universe and the sun and moon and everything rotated around the earth until we found out that we are not the center of the universe. We are orbiting the sun and sun orbiting across the systems, the galaxy. There are a lot of early solar system modeling explained on this chapter. Okay, the next chapter is, I think this is the most relevant chapter to our today's life of the book. It is Heaven and Hell. It's talking about Venus and Earth. Despite Sagan also described the Venus mission, rover landing on the Venus, something like that. The idea of this chapter is that comparison between Venus and Earth. Venus, its whole planet is covered in greenhouse effect, so the heat is trapped down there for a very long time because the land itself is absorbing the heat from the sun, and when it's reflected back, it cannot penetrate out. So because of the greenhouse effect, so the heat is trapped in there for a long time, and that's why this planet cannot sustain life. Meanwhile, the Earth is the opposite of the Venus. Earth is balanced, not too hot, not too cold, but it could be turned like Venus if it mismanaged. And actually, the effect is we already feel it right now. The global warming, the polar ice melting, and so on. It's already started. I don't know, I cannot predict the future and I'm afraid to have this theory. But if we keep going like this planet could be turned into Venus 2.0. In the next chapter, chapter 5, we move to our another neighbor, Mars. Women from Venus, men from Mars. I don't know what it means, but I think men and women are from Earth. So the next chapter, chapter 5, the title is Blues for a Red Planet. This chapter is talking about Mars exploration and how I remember One from the Mars exploration. It's showing the dried line that look like a former of river. And it makes the scientists speculate that maybe one day, a very long time ago, there were alive on Mars. On Mars also discovered something that looks like water or like dried ice. But I don't know for sure if this dried ice is really water when they melted or something else. And from these discoveries, the scientists speculated that maybe the Mars could be inhabited, but also a disappointment. Despite all the evidence that Mars could sustain life, it's still not 100% possible. And at the end of this chapter, Sagan also talking about the possibility of human making colony on Mars. Oh, and I forgot, there is very strange description of this chapter, I think, where Sagan is described about maybe we don't find life on Mars because they are very small. Maybe inside the canal there are cities, there are countries, but it really baffled me. If it's really there, we already discovered it. We already would discovered it. And the next chapter is the very hopeful one, Traveler's Tale. This chapter is talking about Voyager. Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. Those some kind of like a satellite that the scientists sent to the space. Until now, the last news I heard about them are they just got out from our system, so it's still not too far from our solar system, but it's already very far for us. The Voyager, they are bringing this famous disk made by gold, and it is contained about human information, greeting from many languages and the DNA about human and our culture. And I think so far there are no aliens took it, and we still don't know who we sent that for. Maybe nobody. And this Voyager is also our ambassador to the distant space. Like, can you believe it? The first Earth ambassador is not human at all, but some kind of machine with gold disc containing our information. Before the Voyager leaving our system, they still would sending back pictures from the distant space, and they could capture clearer picture from planets in deep space, although the picture of course not as clear as this video. And besides that, this chapter also telling about humanity's ambition to leave our home, to finally can travel in the deep space. Started with humanity leaving Earth for the first time. It is, I believe, the first person on Earth is Yuri Gagarin, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but the first species ever go to space, actually a dog, not a person. A dog called Laniakea, right? And then there come this astronaut landing on the moon, and until now we are preparing for Mars mission. When I read this, I was thinking deeply. I was thinking like, a human could be anywhere right now. Human is fragile. We don't have claw, we don't have sharp teeth, we don't grow fur, but we could adapt it in any situation. We live in the city, we live in the desert, we live in the shore, in the cold places, in the tropical and hot places, and then now we live in the orbits, Earth's orbit, ISS, and I think it will not long anymore until human could reach further than that. Guys, we're only in the 7th chapter and I'm already so tired talking because this book is really interesting, but stay with me please. we will uncover this beautiful book. So chapter 7, The Backbone of Night. This chapter is talking about how ancient culture seeing the sky, the night sky, how they see the stars, the galaxy, especially the Milky Way, because at night Milky Way galaxy is looking so beautiful. It's like the milk spill. Although I don't think it's like a milk being spilled. It's more like a ribbon in the night sky. So this chapter also offering various ancient cultures, maybe modern cultures too, to interpret the stars, the night sky, the sky. For example, constellation is depends on the culture. We knew that the 12 of zodiac signs, it is originated from the Greek, I think, or Roman. But actually there are more than 12, there are 88 constellations or more. But if you referring to that and you meet, for example, like a Maya tribes, they would have their own constellation and interpretation of the night sky. For example, like Aztec and Maya, okay, they did sacrifice to the sun god because they believe the sun god would be pleased with sacrifices and gave them prosperity. I believe this happened in a certain cycle, like maybe in an eclipse or something. And also Greek mythology, yes, Greek mythology like Zeus, Ares. They're represented with certain celestial body. I know it's something like that, but I'm not knowing Greek mythology so much. Hear the thunder? This chapter also compared the mythology with the scientific fact. Why the certain culture do what they do during certain time on the celestial calendar. And actually there are many make sense reasons why they did what they did. But yeah, I will not spoil it more. You have to read this book. Chapter 7 also covering of humanity's storytelling nature. Have you ever heard about myth that don't do this during eclipse, don't do that at night? Don't do it because there's no moon. It actually there are no scientific result on it. Of course, if you're a skeptical person, but that belief is created by many generations because people made up stories. Maybe of something happened to them, coincidental, like for example, like menstruation and moon cycle. What's the connection of it? Maybe someone in the past, their period synced in with the moon period, so that's why they make connection of it. But in fact, there are no connection at all between the woman cycle and the moon cycle, And the chapter 8, oh my god, we still have 5 more chapters to review. Chapter 8 is Travels in Space and Time. This is the heavier topic of the book, I think, because it's not talking about storytelling anymore. It's not talking about ancient culture and history like the other chapter. It's talking about relativity, general relativity, special relativity, something that Einstein created, invented. In this chapter, explaining about the concept of space-time and relativity. Space and time are actually connected and it's relative because everybody don't perceive time the same. For some people, time is very slow. For some people, time is very fast. It's very relative. Thus, time is not absolute. For example, when you study mathematics for exam, you don't like it. 30 minutes feel like forever. But when you are with your lover, 30 minutes is like 1 second. You see? Relativity. In this chapter, also explaining that universe is a dynamic and not static. What does it mean? It means that the universe is keep expanding. It's not just there. It's called the redshift, when an object is going farther and farther than before. Like our moon, 1,600 years ago. The moon possibly closer to Earth. It looks bigger, but now it's smaller. Back to the relativity. Because relativity is relative, everybody perceives it differently. So, time is not absolute, and then our reality also different. One person could experience the same thing, but in their respective reality, it looks different. In this chapter, also explaining about how light speed is delaying the information. This is in the cosmic scale because in our daily life, light speed is not applied. For example, Alpha Centauri, the closest star to our star, is 4 light years. Because of that, it needs that time, their light, to travel to us. I hope my explanation is not make you confused, because I feel like I'm not good at explaining. I understand it, but I'm not good at making people understand. Okay, so number 9 is my favorite, the lives of the stars. In this chapter, mainly talking about the star evolution, how star born, how star lives, how star die. I suppose that everybody know that the star shining because there's a great nuclear fusion inside it. And star produces many elements, carbon, oxygen, everything that the byproduct of the fusion. This fusion is never stopped. If it's ever stopped, it means the star died. So the star born in the nebula. Nebula is getting hotter and hotter until the star is born. When the star is born, they are either become the giant star, a normal sized star, or the dwarf star. The dwarf star, usually called the brown dwarf, it's not very bright. And like the fire, if the star color is blue or white, it's very hot and short-lived. Because it's very hot, the nuclear fusion inside it happening faster. So they burn their fuel faster and they live short. Meanwhile, the red star, they are usually live longer because they burn their nuclear fusion slowly, so they live longer. And it's also usually correlated to the star size. The bigger the star, the whiter the color, the smaller the redder. Our sun is actually in the middle, so the color is yellow. And there is a chart called Hertzsprung-Russell chart. It is categorizes the star based on the color, the size, and the temperature. And when the star dies, it also depends on its size. So I think the star's fate is depends on their size since they're born. Bigger stars usually ended in massive explosion called nova, supernova, or hypernova. The dramatic explosion, But the medium to small star usually it's shrinking. It's shrinking and it sucks everything inside until it becomes white dwarf or dwarf star. These dwarf star would still live, but they are dying. They would eat with the leftover of their energy. They will still do fusion with the left of what they have inside them until there is no more and they died. And from this chapter also the famous saying, we are made from star stuff created. Carl Sagan did not say that because it's aesthetic or it's poetic. He said it literally. It's connected to the first chapter actually because we are made from the earth. The universe made the star and then have planets. And the planet have us. How our DNA connected to not only other human but also other creatures like the plants and animals. And the elements of our body also found on the earth. That's why I think when people die, they became buried because they are back to earth. And the earth material could be found in star material, stars element. Thus, we are made of stars. The 10th chapter, The Edge of Forever. I love this. It's so poetic. Previously, we were talking about the star's life cycle. And in this chapter, we are talking about the universe cycle. The origin of the universe, how it made. There are a lot of theories, but the most popular and many people believe is the Big Bang. The Big Bang theory suggests that the universe is like a trumpet. It's like cylinder, so from one nothingness exploded, boom, and then spread. The universe expanding. That's why we see the redshift when one object on the universe is getting further, because the universe is expanding, the space expanding, and the object are also following. How did the scientists could know this? It's from what called cosmic background radiation. So apparently, this Big Bang left trail of radiation which we could track back in time and concluded the age of the universe until now. This chapter also exploring wild ideas about the multiverse or multiple universe, and humans try to understand the beginning. Because for us, when we understand the origin of the universe, we understand the origin of Earth. Actually, this chapter reminds me of Stephen Hawking when he's asking about, is there anything before the Big Bang? And that is very controversial question. Nobody can answer that. The theologians answered with, there is God, there is something else. We should not supposed to know. What I like about this book is this chapter is structured from the beginning, very small scale, from how small humans are and how we are connected to our everyday life things, understanding bigger things like the universe, and then it closed with the contemplation of how we will be. And in the 11th chapter, the persistence of memories. In this chapter, Sagan wrote how important library as a memory of civilization. The library is not like the conventional library where we store our books, because that could be gone and destroyed. What he meant by a library is what inside us. So this chapter specifically talking about how our brain evolved from we only have small brain to develop the bigger brain or prefrontal cortex. The difference are small brain controlling the very basic human needs, meanwhile the big brains in the most of our head is big brain and the small brain is here near the spine. The big brain is what allowing us to have consciousness, to think for ourselves, to contemplate, to ask questions. Because without the big brain, we would be the same like the apes. So how this connected to the library? What Sagan meant is the gene library. Before the evolution, human only could function in a very basic way for survival. We don't think about creating music, creating beauty, civilization, and so and so. That happened after our big brain developed. Because of that, we start to think how to optimize our existence, right? This big brain created memory of our new custom as a human. And over time, this evolution change is stored in our brain as memory, as the library. How do we do things? This library is shaped by the tradition. Each people from different region have their own custom and tradition, This goes for a very long time, and their children are remember what their ancestor did, not because they know why or this must be done this. Because of this tradition, over and over again, the children started to do it naturally because they already remember it. So the next chapter is actually where I'm currently read Encyclopedia Galactica. It's talking about possibility of advanced civilization, communication across space. Human may not be alone, but distance are huge. So this part is more like science fiction thing because it described about the possibility of other species, civilization, first contact, something like that, and communication across space. So far, we cannot do that in a great distance. Well, maybe we found a way to communicate between Earth and Moon and Mars and Venus, but beyond our system, it's still not possible. Voyager has stopped sending us transmission because they already gone too far. And if you want to receive their latest transmission, it would take very long time because there is no light speed transceiver. So suppose there are other intelligence creature on our own galaxy, Milky Way galaxy. We may not know them because they maybe live across the other side of our galaxy's disk, and they may be at the same stage of our civilization, can be able to travel the galaxy like us. So suppose there are other being right there. We could not find each other, and we still keep wondering if someone out there. Okay, finally the last. This chapter is I haven't read because I read so far until the chapter 12. The last chapter is Who Speaks for Earth. So this chapter is talking about responsibility of humanity. Dangers like war, ignorance, and destructions. Science as hope for the future. Humanity has no leader on a cosmic scale. We are responsible for our own survival. So this is actually correlated, I think, with something I thought about last night. I was thinking about humans are one race, but we have competition, political, geopolitical. We fight to win our own interest. We see that other people are inferior to us, but being the same species. I was thinking if there are any alien looking at Earth. You see, the Earth has forests, the oceans, mountains, the beach, the animals, beautiful animals, the edible foods everywhere, free. They could grow anywhere. And then the human-made, like the temples, the church, the song, the chanting. I think that's why we haven't be able to travel the space, the galaxy, because we are still divided with our own self. Instead of being united and acknowledge that we are one species, we have the same interest. We constantly at war with ourselves. I think that's what these 13 chapters are talking about too. I haven't read it. If you know it, please let me know and correct me if I'm wrong. That's it. We are finally covering all the chapter. It's very different from reviewing fictional book because fictional book usually only have one chapter and each chapter is correlated to the previous one, so I don't have to explain one by one what each chapter are. But this is a science book. Actually, I'm afraid. I'm very hesitated whether I should review this or not because this is a science book and I value precise so much. I cannot give misinformation to you guys. So if there is something I said wrong, please correct me. This book also have pictures in the page of 215. This one is captured by Voyager 2. This, what is this anyway? Oh, this is Jupiter's moon called Europa. And then this is Io, captured by Voyager 1. This is not from the outer space, but it looks beautiful. Look at this. It's a comet. Taken at 1976 by Martin Grossman in West Germany. Our home picture. I think that's all I can review for today. If there are something I missed, you can correct me like usual. Also, I've not promised that I will be regularly uploading videos every week like before, but I try to upload again on this channel. I'm so happy finally I can come back. Thank you for watching, and if you like this kind of in-depth video, you can check my channel. I have other book review video there, and I also have cozy chat. I have something to share to you about my upcoming plan in cozy chat. If you want to see the other side of me, you could see my other channel, my second channel. I will put the link on the description below, and I'll see you in the next video.